Now it's only going to be the Always Sunday Football podcast. The ASFLtv is actually over for the season. So I have to make sure I hit the right intro. Hello, welcome to the post-season. It's technically 2024, but we're in the 2023 season. I'm Dave. I'm joined as I am every week by Anthony. How you doing, Anthony?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Danny, how are you?
Well.
Johnny, hold on a second. I have to push the button.
Wait.
Johnny, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I'm having some technical difficulties with getting into the studio.
Okay.
I'm in the hallway.
Yeah, he's having renovations done to his facilities now. It's the off season, so Johnny's
now's the time to do it.
Exactly. It's
everybody's home. They're playing golf. They're on vacation.
Right. There's nobody in the building, so John's taking some time to do some things around the house. So here we are after the regular season has been completed. Okay, all the playoff teams have been decided and the playoff matchups have been decided. I think that the way that we can do this, because there's only 6 games as we go along here, is that we'll go game by game. We'll give each game a little bit more time and attention than we normally do. We'll talk spreads, we'll talk over-unders, but we'll also talk fantasy relevant players for each team.
Game. Yeah.
And we're going to talk about projected outcomes that each of us think that each game, because a lot of times what we do in, we are certainly doing, but then what a lot of people do is we'll play like their fantasy playoff games where they need to project who's going to win this many games, that many games, and which players they can trust to go further and deeper into the playoffs. So we're going to try and figure as much of that out right now tonight as we can and give ourselves some information that we can hopefully make some good decisions about players in our fantasy games, as well as picks and spreads and stuff like that. Sound good?
Great.
Johnny, you with me?
Yeah.
Love it. It's okay. It's all right.
Like
if you don't have your background up, it's no big deal. It's not.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
It'll be okay. Because again, it is the off season. It looks like on the wall behind you have some official shit, so you look like you're in good shape.
Yeah, you look legit, bro.
Yeah, that's John's actual office. His office.
Is that actually in fantasy football in the background?
Mm-hmm. It is.
Good.
No, that hasn't came in yet. I'll let you guys know when that comes in. Actually, we need to talk about this. Next week I'll be in the building. Like, we will all be in one room. Yeah,
live.
Like, we will all be in the room. I do plan on watching some football with you guys. So Anthony, I know you are the busiest man out of everybody.
I am. Oh, we will make.
Well, would be the day that we would have to watch football together. Because John, you're coming into town on the 13th, if I'm not mistaken.
Isn't that the day?
Yep.
You're right.
I'm not available the 14th either.
14th. So what about the following weekend? The following Saturday? What's the following Saturday?
I can do that.
Okay, so then we'll
do that.
We'll do that. Maybe not.
The 20th.
I'll have work.
The 20th.
The 20th.
Or
we can get together Wednesday.
Or exactly a week from today, we can do the podcast.
Well, we definitely have to do the podcast on Wednesday, or well, it's not going to be Wednesday because we have our game on Wednesday, so it might either be Tuesday or Thursday. Which is better for you?
Well, Thursday we might have. Oh, it would be Thursday after the other one.
Tuesday would work better.
It would be after, yeah. Tuesday would be better for you.
But I mean, I could do Thursday.
Tuesday wouldn't work. Thursday would be better.
I could do
Thursday, John.
I'm free.
Okay, so plan on whatever when you're in town. Just make sure that you remember that on Thursday night you're going to be coming up to the studio, down to the studio, and doing a podcast.
All right,
at the very least.
And then Wednesday, if you want to grab a bite, we're going to be up towards your area.
Yeah, we're going to the Rutgers game, the Rutgers basketball game.
Yeah.
So depending on what you're doing, if you're around Wednesday evening,
that's close, right?
And you want to meet somewhere.
I'm like, it's right up the street. It's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes for me.
All right, cool.
Very good.
For Anthony, it's a straight shot.
Anthony was just there.
Yeah, they're doing construction on Route 18, and it's apparently a big, even worse nightmare than usual, if you can believe that.
Jeez.
So let's talk football. Let's talk Saturday games. Okay, the 13th. The first game on the slate, tough one to call in my opinion. We have the Cleveland Browns, the number 5 seed, traveling to the Houston Texans, the number 4 seed. The Texans are at home, yet they are 2.5-point underdogs with a 44.5-point over under. Okay, so what we can do is we can talk about the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, we could just give like our pick the over under first and then dive into the fantasy if you want to do that.
Okay, that I like it. I like it. This train is brought to you by Good Decision. Browns, Houston Texans. Where are you?
I'm going to take the Browns in this game. The last time the Browns played Houston, it just didn't look good. It didn't look good. Amari Cooper absolutely torched the Houston Texans secondary. I think the defense is going to show up again. I do think that Flacco and that offensive line gives them time to pull the game off. I think it's just going to be a little too much for Houston this game. Houston had a great season, but I'll take Cleveland with the points. And in terms of the over-under, I'm going to have this game as a low-scoring game. I'm going to go with the under in this game.
Nice. Anthony?
The over-under was 44.5. 44.5. I'm going to take the over in this game. I agree with John, though, with most of what you said as far as, Cleveland and Houston. And Flacco's been slanging that thing.
Yes.
And I think they're going to still do that, and it's going to be a battle. Stroud's going to come out. They're going to sling it. They're missing a piece here or there, but I think Cleveland is just going to take it. The defense is just too good.
Danny?
Yeah, Cleveland over. The Browns can score now. Houston's defense isn't great. They are at home, so I think they'll score some points, keep it somewhat close. But I mean, Cleveland, just on both sides of the ball, they're better. And Flacco, he looks hard. Cooper and the passing games just opened up with those two. They can obviously the running. Talking in the car, the coaching is top notch.
Yeah, on both sides of the field.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I like Cleveland. I just think they have more.
I think that what it comes down to is that the way Cleveland wins, pass the ball. They have no running game to speak of. I mean, James Ford had a nice week a couple of weeks ago, whatever, and he's been okay. But they're passing the ball. They're throwing the shit out of the ball. That's how they're scoring. It's not
your dad. It's not your mom's Browns.
No, exactly. And that's where Houston's defense is vulnerable. They have been actually pretty stout against the run this year. Their defense has been improved certainly under DeMeco Ryans, but they're more vulnerable.
They're still a little leaky in the secondary.
Yeah, like I want the Houston Texans to win this game, but I guess I got to lay the points with the Browns with you guys as well. And let's go over 44.5.
Because we like fun.
We do like fun, and I think that the Houston Texans are going to score points at home, like you're saying.
Yeah. And I think if it was the Browns that run the ball, I might go the under. But I could see the Browns hitting 30 in this game. I mean, they're going to throw on Houston.
So,
and they're probably
Houston's going to have to throw on them.
And they're probably going to be successful doing it.
So let's talk about Cleveland. We got Joe Flacco at quarterback. We got Amari Cooper at receiver. James Ford and Kareem Hunt deserve mention at running back, although I don't consider them either to be like appealing options per se from a fantasy perspective. But let's go, John. What do you think we can expect from your Joe Flacco's, your Amari Coopers, from a fantasy perspective in this game?
Well, I'll say one thing. We are doing a fantasy playoff, and I'm only did one lineup, but if I could pick a lineup, I think a Joe Flacco and a Amari Cooper would be a sneaky quarterback two, definitely for Flacco, and Amari Cooper, especially. I do think that Cleveland's going to play, going to advance this game, so I would pick those two. But my pick of if I had to put my money down on Cleveland, it would be the Cleveland defense, without a doubt.
Good call. And see, it scares me if I'm picking the over. I'm not rolling with the Cleveland defense. I forgot to mention David Njoku. He might actually be the most appealing fantasy option.
It's him and Coop.
I forgot.
I like Flacco, but I can go get those points somewhere else.
Agreed.
I mean, the other two, Cooper might be among the best receivers. I mean, if they get 2-3 games, he would conceivably double-digit targets every single game.
In order for them to win,
And
he
both
has
of
to
them.
have a good game.
Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the offense. Either one of them is fine.
If you're talking like playoff game perspective, and you're choosing only one player, I'm choosing Njoku. Flash has been great. He's throwing the ball a lot. He's throwing over 300 yards almost consistently. He's throwing touchdowns, but he's throwing interceptions too. And I think he's just an old school quarterback, and they always look for their tight end in those situations. So end zone looks, he gets a good red zone target percentage. So I'm going Njoku.
I agree. Let's say, okay, from a DFS perspective, John's right on the money. A Flacco Njoku or a Flacco Cooper Njoku stack is beautiful. If you're in a one and done or a situation where you can only play one guy, I think it's Njoku or it's Cooper. Right. You'd have to really see like how you want to. I guess as we go along, we'll discuss other
on the list. I just feel like
there's not as many good tight ends.
Sam Laporte is out.
Correct.
Kelsey hasn't been great.
Correct.
Yeah, but you can see
Kincaid. I think Njoku.
Scary.
I think Njoku is the best tight end in the playoffs.
Isn't
in the
best.
first
Kelsey's
round.
the best. I mean, that's
okay. Fantasy. Let's talk. We're talking strictly from fantasy.
For week
purposes.
one, I might fade. For the first one, I might fade Kelsey because it's gonna be like 0 degrees.
Exactly.
But I could see them after that when it's not unhealthy to actually catch the ball, like physically unhealthy. I could see them leaning on it a little bit.
They have to.
Yeah. Or even like a likely. I could see being leaning on the playoffs.
Likely too, but there's a lot of Flowers. There's a lot of Beckham.
Yeah.
Cleveland, it's Cooper and it's Njoku.
Yeah, and that's
but in the red zone, it's
Ferguson.
Ferguson, but then you have
a good player.
I can see again red zone.
If you're choosing a Cowboy, is it CeeDee Lamb or
no,
is it
it's
Ferguson?
CeeDee Lamb.
So
it's
it's like
it's CeeDee Lamb and then it's Dak. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's go to the Houston Texans. It's your CJ Stroud. You got Nico Collins, no Tank Dell. You have banged up Noah Brown, who I think would just be too dangerous for me unless we're talking a DFS situation and he's really low priced. You got Dalton Schultz at tight end. And then you got Devin Singletary is a running back that needs to be mentioned as well.
Absolutely. He's been great
DFS
in the back end of the year.
For sure.
Yeah. But Schultz, great. He's get some red zone targets, but if you're choosing, I think we all agree that we believe Cleveland's going to win. So then I wouldn't, choose that one position for him. But
if you could only play one player from this game, who would it be?
From this game,
from the Texans.
Yeah. But for the playoff game standpoint,
correct. You only get one player, and you got to ride them for the playoffs for as long as you think they'll stay. Who's the Houston Texan you want, Danny? Who's the Houston Texan you want?
Nico Collins.
For playoff games, Nico Collins. For DFS pricing included, probably Schultz
or Singletary for DFS.
Yeah, for DFS. But for
the
playoffs, it's Collins.
What about you, John?
Yeah, for Collins.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna agree with Nico, but I'm gonna kind of have a dark horse guy. CJ Stroud. I'm going with these quarterbacks. We're also talking about what Cleveland has done and things of that sort. But if Houston beats Cleveland, kind of watch out for this team because they beat Cleveland. That's one of the top defenses, and that means that this team is young and hungry. I like CJ, man. If you feel like Houston can beat Cleveland, I shoot the shot and see what CJ can do. Because CJ could put up 20-something points, and at the end, your QB Duke could be scoring 45, close to 50 points, easy with CJ Stroud. If you think that he's advancing to the second round.
That's the thing, though. Do they?
Stroud?
Cleveland, you got to remember, Cleveland has held it this whole season via defense until they've gotten Joe Flacco, and then it was just over. Right? I mean, they lost quarterback early.
Yeah.
And the defense held them and got them wins.
Sure.
And then Flacco
came in. And then
no, I mean, Stroud's rookie of the year. He's great. But, I mean, if we're just talking playoffs fantasy this slate, there's a lot of very good quarterbacks
really
playing the playoffs who aren't playing the Cleveland Browns in week
right.
one.
There's not. I'm not saying there's. Obviously, there's no way that you're saying there's
even
not
a guy like Matt
going to win.
Matt Stafford gets to take on Detroit secondary. or if you want, or low budget, or if you wanted to go obviously priced up a little bit more, Pittsburgh covers the struggles
Baker
against wide
Mayfield plays
receivers.
against Philadelphia Eagles defense at home.
Right.
Couldn't
So like to me,
cover- yeah.
With,
I'm still
with Mike
more
Evans
I'm
and
more
Chris Godwin.
unsure
then
about that
obviously
game
Love and
than
Dax.
this game. So like
So you're more confident that the Browns win.
right than this Philly.
Yeah,
scenario.
that one's got me shaky.
Because that's why I was like for
This
the
is the
playoff
one
game,
I'm
I
s-
almost might just be like I'm getting their kicker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Houston,
Yeah.
just because I don't think they're gonna make it. Where the Bucks versus the Eagles, which we'll talk about when we get there.
Right. Anybody got anything else on the Browns or Texans before we move on?
We missing anybody? We got everybody on.
I think we
I
talked about
think,
both.
yeah, everyone worth
Nobody
mentioning.
else is really shining on the receivers of
Well, I
the
mean,
Browns.
Pretty focused
No,
offense.
yeah,
No,
yeah, it's
no,
very
focused.
Very, which we love. We love
Yeah.
that. Saturday night, SATURDAY night. The Miami Dolphins travel to frigid, freezing cold Kansas City Chiefs. 4.5-point favorites are the Chiefs with a 44-point over/under. Danny has said that it's never been this cold ever.
It's gotta be.
He's our top weather guy,
Yeah, what is it? It's KC,
and he said that it's the
Saturday?
cold. It's gonna be the coldest game of all time,
up there. Yeah.
which
Oh,
Yeah,
in
let's
Kansas
check.
City.
can't
Yes.
possibly be true. But
No.
Danny says it's
During
so we believe it. Yeah, where's your global warming now, Libs? Johnny, Dolphins, Chiefs, where are you?
Man, my just falling apart. They just
Oh,
really are.
Yeah.
This is another game where I'm gonna go with Miami with the points. I do think the Chiefs are gonna win this game, but I'm gonna take Miami with the points, and I'm gonna go with the over this game. This is gonna be a game where offenses prevailed. This will probably be one of the better games in the playoffs. You know that remember a couple years ago we had the Buffalo Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs and that shootout. This will exactly be that game, guys. This will come down to a field goal. I'm going to go Miami with the points. Give me the over. Chiefs win this game.
Do you like -degree cold, right? The football is going to be like a stone, like a physical.
It's probably
rock.
going to be -1 when the game starts and get colder as it progresses.
See, okay, Danny, you're up.
Chiefs, I guess under, and for fantasy, no, thank you.
Well,
Defense.
we'll get to the fantasy.
Oh, yeah,
we'll
we're
get to
just-
fantasy.
KC, and yeah, under.
Anthony,
I'm gonna, because of the weather, you have to safely go the under. Doesn't mean that
it could shoot out.
it could shoot out.
Any game
You get
could shoot out.
fumbles, return, people drop.
But
Yeah,
think that like there, it could be 2 bombs in the game that happen in a minute that changes the game.
that gets Super
So,
Bowl gives up.
I just think that it's going to be a heavy run game. Pacheco's been great. The Miami's got always somebody to run the ball. So I'll take the under, and I honestly don't know who's going to win this game. So I'm going to take Miami getting 4.5 because the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Yeah, sure, but they haven't been playing like the Chiefs.
Yeah, their offense has been struggling, but their defense has still been really, really good. I'll take Chiefs. I'll lay the points. I'll take the under because the weather just looks like it's going to be just like brutally, brutally cold. I just think it's going to be tough for both teams to score points in this game. So that's where I'm at. Okay, so Miami. Danny already said just out on fantasy options, and I can certainly understand that. But let's just discuss these guys as opposed to the playoffs as a whole. You got Tua, you got Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, and then you got Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, right?
Waddle's back, right?
I think he's probably going to play in this game. Everybody was listed as like limited practice or no practice, but it's Wednesday of the week, so they probably won't be practicing anyway. The cold is a huge fucking bummer in this game.
Yeah, 'cause
Huge. Right. Like John's breakdown of the game, I think would have been a lot more accurate if it was like 20 degrees cold, warmer, even or maybe even
it's like 15 degrees,
Right.
Or something like that. Yeah,
it's going to be like
Not
so
negative.
right.
yeah.
It's going to be so cold that the ball is going to be like extremely hard and difficult
It's going to be
to catch.
Yeah, it's going to be painful.
Right. It's going to be difficult to catch.
A lot of running.
A lot of running the
Imagine
football.
getting hit in that weather.
Right. And Kansas City defense is pretty stout.
I do like that.
If you believe that the Dolphins can win this game, let's preface it like this. If you believe that the Dolphins can win this game, who do you start if you can only start one Dolphin? Hill, not Mostert.
Or Mostert, but I mean, if you think they win this game, you're looking past this week.
That's
exactly.
true.
And not only do they have, they're battling injuries on the defensive side of the ball, some major ones.
Mm-hmm.
So if the defense gets, if it's not as good as it was down the stretch and they're forced to throw more, it's going to help Hill. But I mean, this week, yeah, I'd probably like the running backs or the defense.
Anthony, if you believe that the Dolphins are going to win, who on Miami?
You would have to go Hill if you think they're going to win past this week, like you said.
Right.
But that's.
And even this week,
I think if the weather,
he's used to playing in KC.
If the weather was average, I think I would actually choose Miami to win.
He's the one guy in the team who's done this. Waddle's played at Alabama and Florida.
Yeah, it's a good point. Tyreek did play in Kansas City for many years.
Their other weapons haven't.
John, who do you play? Do you play Hill as well, or is it somebody else for you?
I think you play Hill. But if you think that Miami's going to get bounced in the first round, I understand Raheem Mostert in this game in terms of Miami. But I think the safe bet is probably Raheem Mostert.
They could dump the ball off a lot.
One of my lineups, I'm fading them.
Well, you think about it, if they're doing a lot of running plays, H-N's going to be a lot more heavily involved than if it was a average game. He's still very valuable.
Passing, right? If some of those passing attempts would turn into H-N attempts potentially. But this is a game where I think H-N could get hit, just shatter into pieces because he's so cold.
Or, I mean, doesn't he have you want to talk about pulling a hamstring?
I don't know.
At max speed at -5, you're just asking something to rip in half.
Yeah, they better coat that dude in icy hot before they put his pants on him.
Easy to pull muscles when it's cold.
And a scuba suit.
Icy hot. Yeah, slather on some icy hot, slide a scuba suit on him, and then put those pants on.
You're gonna have to, yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna be breaking, pulling, tearing apart.
Yeah, they're gonna stuff cotton in there.
The Chiefs are Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Isaiah Pacheco.
Yes. Rice and DFS.
If
it wasn't cold.
Fair. Again. So the weather's such a damn bummer, man. So who do you play if you're looking at this week and past this week?
Past this week, I'm kind of off Kelce, I guess.
You're off Kelce. He
and I'm going Pacheco or Rice.
Pacheco or Rice. So you're off Kelce and off Mahomes. Wow. And this is for
There's better option playoff games in
a playoff game, not just DFS. You're talking about in a one and done or something like that.
In a playoff game, I'm actually fading Kelce Mahomes. Leaning Pacheco Rice.
Fair. I can see playing Pacheco this week, particularly considering it might be.
I like him this week.
Bless you.
Bless you.
But bless you.
Bless you.
And I just think that in a game where, for the Chiefs rather, and the Rice, he's getting the targets. So if they're going to continue to go that route, I'll take those targets all day.
I think my takeaway from what you just said is that I'd have to go Pacheco because with weather being a factor, which it is, and if I have to pick a guy for this week and next week, then the answer is Pacheco.
Right, but I'm saying that would be my choices if I'm making a lineup because obviously it's depending be a playoff game.
I think what you're doing if you're a receiver, for example, Tyreek Hill game, you're just holding your nose and hoping for next week. You know what I mean? You're holding your nose this week. You're saying, okay, I know I'm going to take a down week this week, but it's because I think he has some sort of longevity. But I think coupled with the fact that we don't think the Dolphins have a great chance to beat the Chiefs, that becomes a tremendously risky play. So Tyreek Hill suddenly is like not even a priority to get into your fantasy playoff lineup.
I mean, I'm going to do more than one lineups because gambling's fun.
Sure.
And on one of them, I'm probably going to fade Miami.
Fade them as a whole. Makes sense. If you can. You can build a lineup away from
You have to fade what? One team, two teams? You got to play 2, 14.
Over.
You got to play 12.
I think it's 11 playoff spots. I think I eliminated the kicker, but yeah, regardless, it's 11 or
Right.
12.
You got to pick a few. Miami might not be the biggest on teams picked involved. You get some, variance, and
Yeah, it's so they're such a sexy team that in fantasy that you want to have a piece of that
easy to pick,
team.
but it might be smart not.
Yeah,
And
that might be
some separation.
Yeah, that might be the play, fellas. There we go. We got it. This train is brought to you by Enlightenment. Sunday, 1 p.m. The first game on the slate has the biggest total. Ooh, it's gone up. Buffalo Bills are at home hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Bills are 10-point favorites now. It opened at 9.5, I believe, and is now obviously 10. People are not giving the Steelers as much of a chance. 36-point over/under in potentially snowy Buffalo. John?
I'm going to take Buffalo with the points. The strength of Pittsburgh's team was the TJ Watt, and I believe he's out for this game. We do not believe in Rudolph in this game. It's just so I'm gonna go with Buffalo with the points, and I'm gonna go with the over in this game because something's got to go over.
You like to have fun.
36 is a low number. Danny?
I'll go Buffalo on the over. Even though I think that's a pretty big number, Pittsburgh can keep it close. I don't think they're gonna win. It's just asking a lot.
But you laid the number with the Bills?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anthony?
I'm gonna go Bills laying the points, and I'll take the over. I think they're gonna score a lot, and Steelers could muster up 10 points.
A 28-14 or something. Surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll lay the points with the Bills as well with you guys. And
28-10.
Still goes over.
I'll take the over. The over, that's 36 is a low number with the Bills, and I'll take the Bills.
The weather shouldn't be that bad.
No, nothing crazy. And these are two teams.
It'll be cold. It'll be in the 20s. Nothing like, and they're playing at 1 o'clock.
We're talking about the Buffalo Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think these teams are strangers to weather.
Plus, they're playing at middle of the day. It's not like they're playing on at night.
Right. Okay. What'd you say, John?
I was going to say that also I think there's also no Micah Fitzpatrick as well. So like the Steelers have lost all their weapons basically. Like the strength of their team is basically gone.
Yeah, it's not what you want. Are there any Steelers that you would want to play in this game? So we have
DFS, yes, no playoff game.
No faith in Mason Rudolph. Najee, Jalen Warren. Let's talk about those guys first.
Those are the only two Steelers I play.
What about Deontay or Pickens?
No, off throwing the ball.
Pickens has been awesome. They've both been
but
good.
With the Bills defense has been pretty good. They've been laying it in the past few weeks. The back end of the season, they've been laying it down, and they've been holding it down. So not for the year, but
so you would play only the running backs. Which running back would you play? I would
choose. For some reason, I feel my jellies are feeling Warren.
Yeah,
Najee's getting the touchdowns, but I think Warren's just going to get. I think he's going to get like 7 to 10 targets this game.
Danny,
playoff game. I don't think they're going to win. I probably won't have a lot of Steelers. DFS, it would be one of the two running backs. Although depending on price, I wouldn't be opposed to playing like a Pickens. But and out of the two, Warren, just because I think they're going to be playing from behind.
John,
I'll take Dante Johnson if it's somebody that's not a running back. Like he's a guy that might be looking to. They possibly might be moving on from. I'm not 100% sure because there's been a lot of.
They re-signed him. He got an extension.
He got an extension. This guy with all the crying he was doing.
Johnson?
I don't know. Yeah, Dante Johnson.
No, Pickens is the one that.
Yeah, Pickens is the one who's been crying. Deontay Johnson got right before this year.
Yeah, he's really good and
I think they locked him up.
He doesn't cry.
Yeah, that's Pickens.
No, but he doesn't block either.
Yeah, but it doesn't come out and say.
Right. He doesn't block on the field or on social media. That's Pickens. Okay, so we're not really excited to play any Steelers, understandably, in this game. You guys are all so. John, pick between Harris and Warren if you had to start one.
I'll take Najee.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of leaning in Najee though too, but you say your jellies are telling you Warren. It's that was one of the hardest decisions
all year to choose which one.
Yeah, because I had Warren. I felt like I had Warren on one team and Harris on the other. Ultimately, Harris on the other, and so it's like, which week do I feel confident starting which one?
Well, I think it's always
it's not like the Lions where they're both
you're playing. I think it's one of those things is in that it's you're playing for ceiling. So it's like Najee's a safer play where Warren is the higher ceiling, in my opinion.
I agree with that. Yeah, I guess also roster construction matters. Yep. If you're looking for floor.
This year, Warren's been better. Like, when would be the time?
He's been more explosive. He's been more explosive. Najee's been getting those. He's at the goal line. He's getting the touchdown.
Najee didn't have a bad year though.
No, bad year. I just don't think he can do as much, especially like if they have to throw the ball.
I just think I kind of agree with you in a sense where Najee wasn't there, and it was Warren was the lead back, and there wasn't like a 1A 1B type situation where I think these are what these guys are. Warren would fucking go ham.
You think so?
Yeah.
I wonder if he can handle a full load.
Maybe he can't, but I mean, in this role with them splitting carries, I think he's the slightly more effective of the split. And I do think if they had to throw more, it probably suits him.
Could it? The question I came up with was, or one of the questions I came up with was, it happens all the time. Would this guy be as effective if he had the full workload? It's a Tony Pollard situation.
Oh, who knows? And we know Harris can. He can shoulder a workload for the most part. Not a lot of guys can.
Could Warren be the full-time guy? Who knows? We don't know.
Although Harris has been better this year than last.
Right. But for DFS, Warren is usually $100 cheaper. So most likely going Warren to save that couple hundred.
Yeah, for a few weeks this year, Warren was more expensive in DFS. That's
and then it went back to but they're very close each week for the most part.
Yeah, they're a couple hundred apart.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs,
as of late,
and James Cook.
As of late, like who's it? The Diggs has been a little.
Diggs has been scary, but he needs to be mentioned.
Oh no, I know. But I'm saying mentioning the fact that he's been that way.
You could play Khalil Shakir. You could play Dalton Kincaid. You can play those guys, but the main headlines here are Allen, Cook, Diggs, right?
Yeah.
Now you talked about Flacco. We talked about Stroud. We talked about the Kansas City quarterbacks not being appealing. I'm sorry, the Kansas City Miami quarterbacks not being appealing. Is Josh Allen the leader in the clubhouse so far as like the quarterback we're playing in like a fantasy
and DFS?
Fantasy, DFS, anything.
For
like
games
right now,
we've done so far,
it's Josh Allen and nobody else, in my opinion.
Yes.
Right. So like Josh Allen he's our quarterback, which means that we're not getting Diggs into very many lineups. We're not getting Cook into very many lineups.
Right.
No. But
that's going to be the difference maker if something else happens. But it's like he's getting the like what they've done with him in the season. They're going to continue to do in the playoffs, right? Like this is to win every game. He's rushing the ball 7 times. Play designs for him. Mm-hmm. He's getting rushing touchdowns, throwing the ball a ton. Like he's been a little sloppy. He's got a lot of interceptions this year, but I'll take those -2 points. He's going to probably get 2 rushing touchdowns in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll say this.
Maybe in one game.
For the fantasy game, I would probably Allen 1, Cook 2. This week for DFS, so like if I was going to do like say 8 lineups, I would have Cook in more of them than Allen
because of ownership,
and just matchups. I mean, they're 10-point home.
Talking
favorites.
About tournament
for DFS this week, tournament or 50-50. Either way, I like Cook this week.
I think the tournament play, it's Cook for cash. I think the tournament play is Diggs.
Yeah, because ownership.
Because he's going to be expensive and nobody's going to want to play him.
Because yeah.
That's the play. Diggs is the big balls play, I think.
But like in our 4-man,
yeah, it's Cook.
It's Cook.
Or it's Allen. Or it's Allen.
Or it's Allen and Cook.
Right. I agree.
I'm afraid of Cook just because
he's not getting the touchdowns. I agree with you.
But he could get him. But he's not
But
going to
he
get
could get him.
If you're looking for matchups in a playoff game, it's pretty rare as a running back to get that 10-point home favorite matchup in a playoff game.
That's true.
And you're playing. You have a 2-3 game.
But the problem with that is,
I side with him on this.
Anytime they get in the red zone, he's out.
Yeah, he's a between the 20s back.
It's Fournette and it's Murray.
Right.
And you're hoping that he's getting a big yard run from the 30, from the 40 to break off for a touchdown because that's how he's getting a touchdown.
Riddle me this. If you had your druthers, that 10-point home favorite playoff matchup, you get to choose between the scat back, the receiving back, or the goal line back. Which one do you choose?
Yeah, you usually take the goal line.
That's Josh Allen.
Yeah, which is Josh Allen.
Exactly. So that's why Cook gets the rug pulled out from underneath him.
Or you pair that's the stack you play.
They should.
I think you limit your upside.
Cook and none of the receivers.
They should give James Cook more work, taking it away from
But if Cook gets you there and Allen finishes off, you have both of them. It could be. I mean, Allen could have like 1 throwing touchdown and 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 you know.
That's what he's. Yeah, that's what Angie's saying. I think it's just like Allen was a million miles before you even consider playing somebody else.
Exactly. It's like all right, give me your 5 people. It's like Allen, Cook, Diggs. Maybe.
Right. And then like for DFS, John, you haven't really got a chance to fold in here. For DFS, you got low price options like Kincaid, Shakir. Do any of those like make you
Shakir, because I'll be like 4,000.
Where are you on this, John?
I like Shakir. I like Kincaid as well as a cheap option, as Anthony mentioned. But I think it's, as you guys mentioned, it's definitely Josh Allen and everybody else. Josh Allen in terms of fantasy until the Bills get knocked off. It's literally Josh Allen. It's not even close. And he's been there. We know Buffalo has been knocking on the door for a couple of years, and that's a team that they're one of the hotter teams now going into the playoffs. Beating Miami, just they're in a position right now where it would not surprise me if they're in the AFC Championship.
They don't get Baltimore if they win.
They're the 2 seed. No.
Okay, so that changes.
They're safe.
It.
Yep. Go ahead, Anthony. Sorry.
This is a question.
Go ahead.
In relations to playoff game. You remember the first year we did it?
Yeah.
We're going to call it the Michael Crabtree.
Sure.
That Gabe Davis, Michael Crabtree.
He was last year, wasn't he? Or 2 years ago where he had 4 touchdowns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like that, yeah.
What I'm saying is goose eggs,
Look,
what is the odds that just a playoff run?
It wouldn't surprise me for him to catch a touchdown.
Or even if it's just the length of the time that they're in the playoffs, whether it's going to the Super Bowl or not, he leads the team in receptions and yards and touchdowns or one of those or multiple, whatever the case may be.
I think he's right next to Diggs in that big balls tournament play. But he's a DFS tournament play. I don't think I'm putting my money on him. Like you put your money on Crabtree, but Crabtree was still the number 1 receiver on that team. He just wasn't good. He wasn't considered a good receiver in comparison to the other receivers in the playoffs that year. This guy is not that guy.
Yeah.
He's not that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a totally different situation. So yeah, can he catch a long touchdown and people be like, finally Gabe Davis? Sure. But is he in a playoff lineup, a one and done? No. I don't think he doesn't carry enough upside to me. I'm letting other people
and it's not as
step
many,
on that grenade.
That's something like if you're in a playoff game, like when you're in and there's like 400 entries and you do a few of them, maybe you throw them in one, but 20, 25 lineups, no, you can't.
Yeah,
play
right, so there's not enough.
What about that?
Yeah, it's got to be big. You got to be looking for like.
Would you in the other one where it's like you're doing the playoff one and you can't pick another player more than
not a chance.
No,
not a chance. If I get an opportunity to play another guy twice and not have to play him, no.
Something like that where you can only play a guy once. Maybe he enters a conversation if there's a couple hundred lineups for variation purposes, but not where you can play him twice.
The receiver would have to be a very long, twisted conversation and for him to the conversation.
But I mean, with 2, forget it's not even.
No, not a chance. Not a chance. Johnny, did we lose you?
He's like, these guys are
My
talking
bad.
too much.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
sorry.
Call
It's
him
the
the
remodel
man of your
season.
contract.
So I will say about this game is that
Go ahead.
and Buffalo is, I don't know. I do think Buffalo is gonna make it to AFC Championship. Like, I'm starting a little more and more as I do my homework on the playoff teams. I think that's it. It's definitely Buffalo, and I think Buffalo has the easiest road getting to the AFC Championship than all the
That is a really strong
AFC teams. I know that.
That's a really strong point out of you, because they end up playing, unless if the Dolphins win, which we don't think is going to happen, they would play the Dolphins. No, they wouldn't play the Dolphins.
No, they get the Chiefs.
They would get the Chiefs. Wow, or Houston maybe. We'll see.
I mean,
Yeah.
can go in there. I mean, Chiefs could go in there and beat them.
The Chiefs could beat the Bills at home. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, for all this talk about this, and it's all justifiable, but the defense has stood up. Allen's been prone to a couple turnovers. Chris Jones is the kind of guy who could force him to make a couple of those. Couple that with the fact all the stuff, and I mean, it just has Mahomes going off and Kelsey like 8 for 150 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like,
what is the color of the Super Bowl logo this year? You hear about that?
No.
You didn't hear about that?
No. What is it?
There's like a conspiracy that every year the logo has 2 colors in it, and they put it out, before the season starts, and it's actually like ends up being the 2 teams that are in the Super Bowl's colors.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Or it's,
I think it was like the last 2 years or something.
Yeah, it doesn't. I
probably like you ever hear of horoscopes?
I've heard of horoscopes.
People who watch football, and it's nothing to do with your birthday.
You ever hear of horoscopes?
Great.
That's a great question. Dallas Cowboys, 4:30, hosting the Green Bay Packers.
Now he gets good.
Yes, indeed. This is the Mike McCarthy Bowl, and the Cowboys are 7.5 point home favorites with a 50.5 point over under. John, your Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm 100% taking Cowboys with the points this game. I'm gonna go with the under in this game, but this Packers team is a little too young. I think that just experience of being in the playoffs, and I know it's been talked about all sports media, is this is the year that the Cowboys have the easiest route of getting to the NFC Championship. Than the only team that's standing in their way is the San Francisco 49ers. I do want to make a note. If any team knocks out the Cowboys that's not the 49ers, Mike McCarthy should be fired.
Okay. I don't agree, but their offense was too good, dude. This year, he saved his job. He solidified.
It was a rough start, but
he solidified his job. That offense was too good. He's not going anywhere.
It was with a lackluster Pollard.
Where are you on this game, Anthony?
I'm taking the Cowboys with the laying the points and the under as well. I don't think it's going over. I would like it. We like to have fun.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I think it's
a high number scaring you.
It's not that it's scaring me. It's okay
to say you're scared.
I don't know. I don't have that much. I don't know how much Green Bay is going to really do.
Danny,
28-17.
I'll take Green Bay with the points, and I don't think Green Bay wins, but at 7.5, I like it. I could see like 31-24. I think they'll be able to. I think Green Bay. I think there's going to be points. I think Green Bay will be able to score. There's not going to be weather concerns. They're going to be in Dallas. They have a couple fast guys. They're going to play fast on the turf. It should be fun, unlike a lot of the other games, which could potentially blow.
I'm
like this is fun.
I'm with you on this. I think the Packers plus 7.5 is into me. And the over. You can give me the over.
Again, I don't think they win, but I'm willing at 7.5.
4-point win, 4 or 5 points,
even
something like
7.
That. Sure.
6.5, I might take
7.5 is a nice number.
But yeah, I think that's where I switch.
So yeah, give me the Packers laying the number or getting the number and the over. You guys, I can't believe you guys don't like to have fun. Disappointing.
And Jordan Love's been really good like last month or so.
Yeah.
Month and a half.
So let's start with let's talk about the Packers. We got Jordan Love. Okay, another quarterback who's now in the conversation if you're talking playoff games and things like that.
To me, it's like Reed.
Reed?
Yeah.
So, okay, we got Jordan Love. We got Jaden Reed. John, anybody else on the Packers that you would like to nominate for this discussion?
Aaron Jones has been a big reason why that offense has been a lot better.
Yeah, he has been playing pretty well as of late. Once he finally got healthy, which took him the entire year, it seems like.
Yep.
But he finally got healthy at the right time, which is now. So you got your Jordan Love, you got your Jaden Reed, and you got your Aaron Jones. With regards to quarterback, there's not that many that we've put into serious consideration per se. Do any of us like what percent chance do you give the Packers of playing more than one playoff game this year? Anybody?
Not great.
7%. Yeah.
That's not good.
Not okay. 35, about 30.
30. Because I mean, if you can only play one player
in your fantasy game, I'm not playing Jordan Love.
You're not playing when you can play two quarterbacks. In my fantasy game,
I'm not taking. I'm not putting a guy at quarterback who I think is not going to win week one.
Right. Like that's why the same thing with tight end position was like
other game where you like the 2-week one where you can pick different guys. I'd certainly consider Love within that bracket. I wouldn't mind. I mean, not that you can. If you can go two quarterbacks, I wouldn't mind picking Dax Love.
Right.
And just stacking the game. DFS, I like him.
DFS, I like the Love Reed combo.
Bring it back with Lamb. Give him all of that.
Right. I'll do that for playoff purposes.
Even throw like a Ferguson in there.
This is a team that if I need to not choose from a few teams, this is the
it's
one.
A team you're not going to choose from because you don't see them winning the game.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that they're. I mean, 7.5
season. No,
7.5 is the second highest spread.
Because I can see them outscoring guys who on other teams who I think are going to get bounced in the first round, and you have to play some of them.
Reed's the number one guy.
I can see him putting up like 23 on his way to getting knocked out. That's better than an 11 on his way to getting knocked out. You got to play somebody who's going to lose.
So Reed is your back end of the roster.
Yeah,
one and done.
Because you got somebody. I'm not playing Green Bay's defense.
Roster. Okay, who's making it to the second week? Okay, now I've made this roster and I need these few positions and these. Okay, they're not making.
You can accept
you take those right.
John is Reed your one and done for this game as well, or do you have a case for Jones?
I think I do have a case for Jones because if they're going to be competitive at all in this game, actually, I think you guys are actually sleeping on the Packers. It would not shock me if the Cowboys choke and the Packers.
They do choke a lot of times in the first week, but they've just been
the Packers.
They've been too good. They've just been too good, and I don't think the Packers are good enough. That's just.
I think it's a question of John. John mentioned it. I think was it you, John, who said they're just a little too young right now?
Yeah.
Their defense, I think, still is a year or so away.
That's why I don't think ultimately they're going to win.
Right. I think that their defense is still a year away from being like a serious like playoff sort of championship caliber defense. They're at least a year away, whereas they're balanced on both sides of the ball. And I think that's where it's going to kind of separate them. But I do think a lot of points will be scored in this game, and I like the Packers to cover the spread at least. Now, on the Dallas Cowboys side of the ball, we got Dak.
It's Lamb and Dak.
We got Lamb. We got Ferguson. Okay, if you're talking about tight ends, because we haven't really mentioned too many tight ends yet, and he deserves mention. He's probably not number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4.
No, but he's deserved to be a choice.
Deserves to be mentioned.
That is definitely in DFS.
Certainly, yeah, especially with his price being in consideration. I'm sure.
In the highest, is it the highest over under of the week?
No, it's not actually.
No, second.
It's the next game we're going to talk about.
Probably the second.
So Dak Lamb.
Pretty much. Like if you're going playoff game, yeah.
Playoff game, Dak Lamb.
Playoff game, nobody else.
So now, John, if you could only play one of those two guys, is it Dak or is it Lamb?
I picked CD.
Anthony?
Damn, it's CD, but it's like it's not. It's to me,
Dak
it's
points are easier to get somewhere.
right.
Else.
You get
It's
the
awful
quarterback.
tough to envision winning a lineup without Lamb in it.
I agree.
Like, how do you get those points?
well. It's just getting the 6 points for the touchdown and the catches and the yards. He's going to get the jump, but like in the playoffs, better teams, better defenses. Sometimes that second guy gets a lot more. So there could be that point where Cooks gets worked in more.
I think Cooks is an interesting DFS option.
DFS for sure.
DFS option, but I'm saying like to me, it's not a seal deal. Like Lamb is the guy for the playoff game.
What? It's not.
Not that it's just an absolute yes.
All four of us picked CD Lamb, and now you're saying it's not absolute.
There's not enough people in it to get the kind of variation. Like I said, if we were back to like
80
lineups and I was doing 4,
I'm just saying a playoff.
I would leave them off
the fact
one.
That ours is small.
I think
no.
Cooks
Cooks
too thin. You said Cooks.
No. I'm saying that Lamb isn't the absolute yes over Dak in the playoff game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying Dak's still going to be able to get the.
I still think he is.
I'm just saying it's not like an absolute yes.
Yeah.
I think you could.
I still think it is.
Yeah, I feel like
we're allowed to disagree.
Yeah,
right. I'm just saying in the playoffs, I feel like there's going to be, CD's going to get the work, but
I'd rather have
Cooks,
Lamar, Lamb than Dak
else.
than whoever you name.
Say that again?
Pick any receiver. I'd rather have the two guys I name.
Right. Fair.
I think that all what it comes down to is like
he could potentially, outscore him in the playoffs.
Who
Dak,
and him.
Dak
could outscore Lamb
in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I don't
but
see
who's
that
scoring?
Touchdowns going to somebody else.
I don't.
Ferguson
All right, let's say
touchdowns,
Dak averages 31 and Lamb averages 30. I'll take my chances with Lamar than whatever the running back or wide receiver is coming close to Lamb.
Fair.
Like it's still about going out and getting the points somewhere else. And I still just think I'd rather have Lamb on my team than another quarterback.
Yeah.
Said with more.
Now let's talk.
Not big enough.
Let's switch tracks a little bit. John, do you like if you were going to play a DFS stack? Would you play Dak, CD, Jaden Reed, or Jordan Love, CD, Jaden Reed, with the fact that you probably save some money getting Jordan Love and you spend it elsewhere?
I'll take Dak and the CD, Jaden Reed. I just think that the upside is more there.
I'll do the other one.
I would probably play both.
Okay, if you can only choose one, which one would you choose?
Probably Love.
You'd choose Love also. You take the savings. You think you take the savings as well?
And the rushing
because it's the same
and rushing touchdown upside.
It's the same.
It's the
same
savings, but because
argument with the replaceability.
Yeah. I mean, CD's going to get the work, but if they're going to be coming from behind, I think he's going to have to throw more. I think he could potentially have a better game than Dak.
Right on.
And the rushing touchdowns, especially come playoff time, you could see him getting into 10 and Love just taking off.
Right, they're trying to win. All right, whatever. Whatever goes.
Yeah, 400 yards.
So for DFS,
and they lose.
You do the. I do the for sure.
That would
the Love,
be
Reed, and then definitely grab CD.
And probably throw somebody else from that game in there, but I'm not sure who.
Yeah, I think that's the move. It's like Love, CD, Love, Dak, and Josh Allen right now are our big leaders in the clubhouse for quarterbacks to anchor our playoff teams. We'll say that for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Anybody got anybody else on the Green Bay before we move on? No. I thought you were saying Brandon Cooks over CeeDee Lamb in a fantasy playoff game. I was about to shut the show down. I was about to just
everyone was
turn off all the lights.
No, I'm saying
we'll try again next week.
Go home. Go home.
I'm saying because for the Dak, like he it's not like I wasn't saying.
I understood you, and it was such the thought was so I couldn't understand how you could be saying it. I was like, what? I didn't get it.
Like I was like, CD can get like all right, eight for 120, but there's 4 touchdowns that game and he got none of them. It went to Cook Ferguson.
I'll bet you that doesn't happen. If Dak throws 3 or 4 touchdowns, CD's getting at least one of them.
You never know.
It's anything's possible. The way that their offense has been running this year,
right?
You know what I mean?
Well, when you get into the playoffs, those
I would be willing to bet.
there.
He's got like a touchdown in like 9 straight games or something like that. He's their number one option in every situation. He gets 20 targets a game. It's ridiculous. 8:15 Sunday night. Great game. The Stafford Bowl, the Stafford Goff Bowl. Detroit Lions home hosting the number 3 Lions, hosting the number 6 Rams. The Lions are 3-point home favorites. Just so this game projects to be pretty even with a 51.5 point over under. John,
Wow.
The highest over under, by the way.
Yes.
Wow.
All right, I'll take Detroit with the points and give me the over in this game. We need some fireworks out of this. I'll talk about this more in DFS, but these teams need to score in order for something to happen. But 51.5 is very, very, very high. I hope it's over, but realistically, we'll probably under.
But you're taking the over?
I'll take the over.
Good. Danny?
I'll take the points with the Rams and go over.
I'm going to do the same thing. I'm taking the points with the Rams. I don't know if they're going to win.
No, me neither, but I think I could see them losing by 1.
This has we talked about it a little bit on the way
31-30.
I got Dan Campbell, man. He's got me nervous. Where are you on this game?
I got the over, and I got the Rams money line.
Money line.
No, listen, I think they win. No Sam Laporta.
Good call.
No Sam Laporta. So, Montgomery's going to get to work. He's going to have a day. Amon-Ra. But to me, it's like Amon-Ra and who else? So look, you get a little sprinkle of Reynolds. You get a little sprinkle of
Williams.
Raymond.
Yeah, this is a Josh Reynolds revenge game too. Let's not forget.
Right, but just the Rams at the back half of the year. You got Kyron Williams back. You have Puka. You have Puka Nacua. You have Cooper Kupp.
I heard of those guys.
Who's like it's been a Puka Nacua show the past 2 weeks. So it's given Cooper Kupp a little time to. I think it's the Rams winning this game.
Nice, I love it.
Now the question is,
possible. I'm just not willing to go.
The question is, who do you choose from the Rams?
Okay, so here we go. We have
because you have to choose players from both his team. This is the closest one out of them all.
Closest? What do you mean?
Game
for me and decision of
projecting.
Of who's going to win.
It's close. It's tough. This is one of the tougher coin flip games. I agree.
And you have to have a player from both of these teams.
You got Matt Stafford. I agree because both of these teams could win this game, and you want to be able to ride with whoever wins for at least another game.
Second biggest spread. It's the second closest spread, but at least the home team's favorite in this one.
Correct, and it's the highest over under, which means we project all spread and a lot of points. Anything can happen. Matt Stafford, you got Kyron Williams, you got Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. So let's start here. If you can only start one of the two receivers, are you starting Puka or are you starting Kupp in the playoffs?
I'm starting Puka.
Danny?
I might start Puka unless I think everyone else is.
Okay, we'll get to that. What are you doing? You have to start Puka or start Cooper?
That's tough, man.
I know. That's why I asked the question. It's fun. We're having fun. We're having fun.
We are having fun.
Anthony has an emotional attachment.
I have emotional willing to pay for ownership.
You're right. He's right. I have emotional ties, and he's hurt me.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's hurt my feelings.
Well, we're gonna get to some more emotional.
A lot of people have hurt you this year, but your friends are here.
Yeah, that's right. We're in a safe space.
Yeah. I think Stafford and Puka had gained that great connection, but Cooper Kupp is that the
you're ready to be hurt again.
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready.
You're ready to be hurt again.
If you know,
are you ready to give him a second chance?
If anybody knows me, they know I'm gonna go back into the darkness.
Yes,
I'll give you another chance.
Maybe that line this time.
Dude, we gotta save that line. That was the greatest line from Anthony.
Choosing Puka, and I'm the only.
I would go Puka also. There's just too much chemistry. There's too much momentum, and a healthy Cooper Kupp just opens up the field for Puka. And Matt Stafford takes everything you give him. They're playing lights out right now. But if I could only play one of the two of them, I would play Puka. I agree.
Okay, so then,
But we have a game that we're in where you can play any guy a maximum of 2 times. I would love to be able to be in a situation where I play Puka twice and then have 2 more Rams to play, or maybe they play 3 playoff games and you get to choose.
Well, you
Puka
can play
twice.
more than somebody from the same team in that, right?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe
it sounds
so.
like you can.
Which, if it's the case, do you play Puka and do you play Kyron Williams? Like, I feel like Kyron Williams is one of the best running back plays of the week, if not
No,
the
he's
best.
ahead of Puka.
He's ahead of him.
Like if you, in your game where you can only play one, yeah, Puka's number 1 for receivers, number 2 on the team, in my opinion.
John, do you play Puka or do you play Kyron Williams if you can only play one of them?
Man, that's a tough man. If one and done Rams, I'd definitely go Kyron Williams. If the Rams are gonna go advance to the next round, oh, this is a tough one, man. I'm with Anthony the Jellies, and I'm gonna go with Puka.
Anthony, if you could only play one between Kyron and Puka, who would you play?
but between Kyron and Puka, or
Yeah, like
just,
in my game where you can only play one player from the Rams.
Well,
Or
to me, I would
Cooper.
just choose in the,
Or Cooper Kupp.
right
Sorry.
in that scenario. I would just choose Kyron Williams, so I didn't have to make the choice.
Hey, look, you're being honest. I appreciate that. It is. Look, remember, this is a safe space. That's funny. I would play Kyron Williams as well, because not only because I have you could say emotional ties to him as well, but just on a points per game basis.
Who's the better running back play?
Who's a better running back play than Kyron Williams?
Yeah.
Exactly. There is nobody.
Who is?
For
I can
the-
name better wide receiver matchups
for the
than Puka.
playoff
I like
game or
Puka.
DFS.
For this for
the playoff game.
for a playoff game where
Yeah.
you need to start 2 running backs this week,
Yeah, he's
And
locked.
next week,
he is on
and the week
the
after,
team.
even after that, like he is.
He's
Well, for the week of running backs that we have here, we really haven't even discussed one running back that we're
No,
excited
he's
to
the
play.
number 1
He's
guy.
the number 1 player of
I think in
at running
playoff
back.
games, he's like 90% rostered.
Of course. Yeah. And on a points per game basis, it's valid and justified because Puka had a great year, but Puka played more games. So his stats he has more stats. But Kyron Williams finished as like the running back 4 or 5 or something like that. And on a
And
points per game basis,
went on the IR.
he missed 4 games, and on a points per game basis, he scored like 4 points per game more in fantasy football than did Puka.
All right, so he could have, probably broke a rookie record as well.
I don't know what any of the rookie records are. They got to be pretty high, but he was awesome he's not a rookie, by the way. That's the other thing. He's not a rookie.
Right.
No, yeah, he was a rookie last year, and he got injured. So he was. There was talk of him as in preseason last year, and he was like a post-hype sleeper this year. So yeah, so there you go. If you're in a situation where you can play Puka and Kyron Williams together, do it. But if you can only play one, it's probably Kyron Williams, because for positional value, he's the number 1 running back on this slate. Period. Stop. Detroit. Oh, maybe the number 2 running back on the slate.
Yeah, but who do you choose?
Gibbs.
Good question. Good question.
This matchup.
No,
So-
for a playoff game.
Are we playing Goff? Is Goff a play, or are we not? even-
DFS or playoff game?
Playoff game. He's not a play.
No.
Playoff game. He's not a play.
No, he's the 4th option, 5th option.
5th maybe, because Stafford would be above him in my opinion.
No,
Well, who do you play?
no, I'm talking about off the
Means
Lions.
Detroit.
Off the Lions,
Off the Lions, he's the 4th or 5th guy.
maybe.
The reporters heard.
Yeah. Right now, there's, in my opinion. Well, okay. Let's go step by step here.
Step by step.
If you had to play one of the 2 quarterbacks in this game, Stafford or Goff, if you had to play one of those 2 guys, which one would you play?
Stafford.
Pause.
Toss up,
Yeah, because I can see Williams getting all the rushing touchdowns.
Stafford.
John.
I'll go with Stafford.
But like since that trade, their stats are literally identical. Why stop that?
The Stafford and Goff.
Yeah, like literally same amount of touchdowns, same amount of yards, same amount of interceptions.
I'll tell you why. I'll
Why
tell you
stop
why.
now.
I'll tell you why. Because
1 point game.
the Detroit Lions haven't made the playoffs since like 1990, and they haven't won the division since 1991. Right. All right.
It's gonna be fun.
The worst thing that could happen to Detroit is that Matt Stafford goes in there
and wins
and beats them in their house in their first playoff game in decades. My friend, what's going to happen?
a very good chance.
So Stafford's going to throw.
line.
Stafford is. If you don't think Matt Stafford's throwing 3 touchdowns and 300 yards a game, attention. Oh, yeah, for sure. Now, of course, I'm kidding. But I'd still play Stafford in this matchup. Okay, here's the next big question. Amon-Ra auto lock, right? Amon-Ra auto lock. As far if you can play multiple players, 2 players,
then the running backs enter the conversation,
and then the running backs enter the conversation, right?
Yeah, but that's who.
Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. We'll go to John first. Who do you play? You can only play one of those 2.
I'm getting David Montgomery.
Anthony. Danny already told us it was Gibbs, right?
Was that a muffle?
And this is DFS or playoff game you're talking?
You can only play one of them.
Playoff game.
Who would they play though in the following week? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm just going off this.
The Lions are the number 3 seed, so they would potentially play
Tampa if they win.
No, they would play the number 2 seed, which is
Buffalo's.
Dallas. You're talking about the AFC.
Oh yeah.
It's Dallas. They would catch Dallas in the next round.
I think they'd be coming from behind.
I think I would play Gibbs no matter what.
Well, I think if it was Tampa or if it was a team that doesn't have a good rush defense, then I might potentially lead Montgomery, just because I don't think they would be trailing as much or needing to score maybe versus this team and then the Cowboys, because Dave Montgomery does get more attempts, but it's Gibbs getting the catches. I guess I would lead Gibbs because of the catches.
Yeah, I'm going Gibbs in that one pretty much without even thinking about it. Now, here's the thing. If you can only play one Detroit Lion, are you playing Amon-Ra St. Brown or
St. Brown?
St. Brown.
John?
St. Brown.
Okay.
Like without doubt.
Yeah, he's pretty much an auto lock.
He's a lock. It's like CeeDee Lamb, St. Brown. Those are 2 people.
Laporte is the only one that enters the conversation because of the position, and he's hurt.
Got it. Yeah, that's true.
That's fair.
That's true. If he was in the conversation, that would be he might be arguably the number 1 tight end in the playoffs right now. Yeah, but he's not playing. Sad, very sad.
But like he said, it looked bad, but it's not as bad as.
He should be back mid-season next year.
What?
Laporte.
Yeah, he's not going to play in the playoffs.
Mid-season next year.
He should be back by week 8 next year.
Week 8?
Yeah.
I heard it was going to be
surgery.
like week 12 or something like that.
Okay, now you guys are.
No, he's definitely going to miss time.
Yeah. Okay, so
you're getting emotional again.
Google.
Yeah, he's going to start eating pretzels as fast as possible.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Monday night, the 8:00 p.m. the final playoff wild card game in Super Wild Card Weekend. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers 4 seed hosting the Philadelphia Eagles, the number 5 seed. The Bucs are 3-point home underdogs with a 44-point over under. John, your Buccaneers.
I'm taking money line Buccaneers, and I'm going to go with the over in this game.
Love it. Anthony?
Isn't Hurts banged up with his finger? Was that his throwing hand?
That was his throwing hand. His finger got dislocated at the knuckle, where the whole top half of his finger slid off the back of his bottom half of his finger.
That's pretty cool.
So it was like
he's going to play, but there's no way it's going to be 100%. I mean, it just
and what?
No way.
Now that's the one, because you don't. Here's what happened. I hate to say this because I love AJ Brown. I'm the biggest AJ Brown fan there is.
I know.
He fumbled on that play.
And then fake got hurt.
I don't know if he fake got hurt. He probably like tweaked his knee a little bit. But like when you watch the replay, you can't determine any injury or any weird, like his legs don't get caught, his legs don't get twisted, nothing. He doesn't hit the ground weird, nothing. So that was one of those situations where I think he lost the ball and he just was a little bit exacerbated. And that made it worse than it really was.
Yeah, that was a rough game for them.
Yeah, and he was that was that. He was like, "No, I'm good. I'm good here." So, but again, I love AJ Brown. That was not a injury. That was not a significant injury. He'll be fine for this week, I imagine, because they haven't said word one. They the one thing I read was
I think Hurts'
getting an
finger
MRI.
is a bigger concern than Brown.
Agreed. Yeah, he's getting an MRI on his knee. That's all I heard.
I need an MRI.
Hurts overly sharp the last 2 weeks with a good finger.
No, the offense stinks. The defense stinks. The Eagles stink. Johnny's got him on the money line. Anthony, where were you?
I'm gonna take him +3 in the over.
Bucks +3 and the over. Danny.
Yeah, +3 in the over. I won't quite go money line. But I'll take it.
Oh, you guys.
Maybe for money line madness.
Everybody down here is down on the Eagles right now, and they're all banged up, and everybody's counting them out, and I also am counting them out.
Baker, bro.
You want to talk about being burned?
Too. Baker's banged up, by the way.
Here's what I will say. This is going to be Eagles -3 and the over, guys. I'm sorry to tell you this. The coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, his name is what, John?
Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles is
Pretty coach
not
before.
is not winning a playoff game. Period. Stop. He's not going to win. The Todd Bowles is not going to win this game. I'm sorry. The Eagles are going to go in there. They're going to win this game. People are going to be like, "Oh, are the Eagles back? Are the Eagles together?" No. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the division last week and the last week of the season by beating the Carolina Panthers 9-0. We talked about this on the ride up. They did not score a touchdown against the Carolina Panthers. I don't see how the Buccaneers are winning this game. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. The Eagles are, I mean, I will say this: if the Buccaneers win this game, the Sirianni might get fired the next day or that night. That it might be.
Yeah, but
like,
Tampa still look considerably better than the Eagles in Week 18.
Did they? They scored 9 points. They scored no touchdowns.
The Eagles were down 21-0 at halftime, and pulled their starters in like embarrassment.
Hey, look, I'm just saying, this is a Todd Bowles loss. Has Todd Bowles also written over it? John, tell me I'm wrong.
Called money line.
I know he's called money line, but now that I'm saying it, what do you feel, John?
Oh, that's not fair. You're just harping on his judge.
Honestly, the Eagles making me look bad over like the last 4 weeks. No, I'm not. I don't believe
They're making us all look bad. They're making us all look bad.
It's more like seven or 8 weeks, but yeah, it started with the Niners. Oh, Eagles getting points at home, sure. Wow, they got walloped. That's not going to happen. Walloped by the Cowboys. That's not going to happen again. Whoever they played, Steamroll. That's not going to happen again. Luckily, Danny DeVito's nephew or whatever plays the half, so they're up 100-0. Taylor comes and they almost lose, but they get a W. Then they lose to the Cardinals at home. Then they got absolutely crushed by the Giants. That's their season. After being 10-1, it's amazing.
Eagles -3 over. You guys read it and weep, fellas.
Devontae Smith went down. That's what happened.
So on the Eagles, who we are not as a group projecting to win this game, I
didn't say that. I mean, I didn't take Tampa money.
Fair. As a group, though, we're not like as on average. Jalen Hurts with a bad finger, very, very gross. Then you have DeAndre Swift.
You throw a ball like this.
Yeah, he's gonna have it like taped like crazy.
He's throwing gang signs up.
He may even wear a glove.
Against Tampa's run defense.
He got it. His hand was so injured he had Tua fingers. He had one Tua finger. He's like, and you see the sideline, he was just like, hey, somebody needs to help me with this. He's just kind of like showing it to people, like,
yeah.
And then the dude, it's really, really funny. There's a clip. I don't know if you find it on Twitter or if you find it someplace. He's just on the sideline with like the jacket over his shoulder pads, and he's like doing this. He's like trying to show the trainer, and there's a guy sitting behind him with a headset on, and he's just looking at he's like his face is great seeing Jalen Hurts' finger, and he's like looking around Hurts to see. He's like, It's amazing. It's amazing. So you got Jalen Hurts, you got DeAndre Swift, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith is supposed to play, right? Then you got Dallas Goedert, who's in the conversation because there's a very short list of playable tight ends.
Goddard, yeah, might be on the top of it.
Near the top. Well, I think still in this one.
Yeah. I mean, I meant near the top of the Eagles.
Oh, for sure. But as far as the Eagles are concerned, Hurts, Swift, AJ Brown, Goddard, and Devonta Smith. That's the team. That's who you got. So if you can only play one player, who are you playing, Danny?
Goddard followed by Hurts.
Wow, Goddard first off
And
the
if
Eagles.
his fingers happen, it'll affect his throwing more than his running.
Johnny?
DeAndre Swift.
Really? Interesting.
DeAndre Swift.
Interesting. Explain.
If you're gonna somehow move the football, with how bad their offense has been, because the passing game is working, they need to rely on the run game. And let's go back to the old Nick Sirianni before Jalen Hurts was Jalen Hurts. They ran the football a ton, those Miles Sanders. And I think they're going to have to rely on running the football if they're going to win this game. And that's how they're going to get past this game. So I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift.
That's actually really good points out of you. Well done. Well said, John. Anthony?
I would agree.
You agree?
Well, yeah, it's
That's bullshit. You wouldn't have said that until he said all that nice stuff.
Yes.
No.
Nice stuff.
That's
Yes, it was. Is
crap.
that what you're not picking?
You were going AJ Brown the whole time. I saw you.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I think he's hurt.
You do.
Listen, the point of is how good
His
is
feelings
Hurts
seem
gonna-
hurt.
His feelings were definitely hurt.
Yeah.
how good is Hurts going to be able to throw the ball?
Good.
You think so?
I think he'll be fine. Yeah, you've thrown balls with like finger injuries before, haven't you?
Not like
You've done stuff with finger injuries. You've
I-
shot a basketball with a jammed finger.
I don't think it's the same.
It's probably pretty similar.
How good? It's your middle finger.
If you jam your middle finger playing ball, you don't just stop. You play ball. You fix it.
And he's getting
just play more ball.
He's getting 8 days in the best doctors.
Yeah, he's going to have probably an injection to numb the pain just a touch. Not obviously because he needs to move it, but like he's going to have all the best stuffs.
He'll be psychotic list, I think.
I don't know. I don't know
Sorry?
how good the
It's
finger
still
is.
probably, it's still Goddard in him.
I would probably have him first.
I
ahead of
don't-
Yeah,
Goddard.
that's fair.
I don't mind. I'm not like they're playing against Tampa. Tampa's run defense is not very good, so I like Swift is a potential option for the playoff game to be different, and because he could have a potential really good first game,
Yeah,
and then level out and whatnot, and then yet again, what if they lose?
John makes a very good point with Swift. That's really good. What if they lose is another fair point.
'Cause you got
I
Mike
think
Evans.
Any way you slice it, I think the Eagles flow through Jalen Hurts. So to me, he's the clear Eagle to play. And I don't want to count out AJ Brown either. He's been bad, but I think as Jalen Hurts goes, AJ Brown goes. But I do see the case for Dallas Goedert because it's a thin tight end group.
Yeah, definitely.
For me, I mean, yeah, you do choose.
So if you can, so we have Josh Allen, Dak
I was just
Prescott,
gonna say,
Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts. Who do you play, or John? Put them in order of guys you have faith in for these playoffs to play in a playoff, like in your fantasy game. Hurts, Prescott, Allen.
So I'm going to go Allen without a doubt.
Allen is your number one. Danny, what about you?
My number one. Number two is going to be Dak.
Probably Allen.
Okay, and then you got Hurts third. Where
Is this people for the fantasy game?
fantasy game? Yeah.
Only guys that are playing this week?
Yeah.
Probably Allen.
And then who do you have second? Dak.
Probably Hurts because they'd be much more inclined to play Lamb.
I'm with you. Anthony.
Allen.
Allen. And then who's your number two? Is it Prescott or is it Hurts?
I think it's Prescott for this week.
Prescott for this week.
Given the
And
matchup.
then taking into account what Danny says, would you rather play? Okay, so let's think about this.
For the playoff game?
For the playoff game,
It's Allen and none of the other two.
For guys
Allen-
playing this week.
for guys playing
Yeah.
this week.
Oh, for playing this week.
Oh.
Okay. And then-
What do you mean?
Matthew Sat.
Still-
playoff game. Yeah. I don't have to choose.
Would he still be your overall number one though?
Josh Allen.
John, what were you
I was gonna say third, Matthew Stafford.
saying? He would be the third ranked quarterback for you?
Yep. For me.
Above Prescott?
No, he would be third.
So he would be
below Dak, right below Dak would be
so he'd be
Matthew
ahead of
Stafford.
Hurts.
Right.
Wow. Okay. That's a hot take. Don't you think? Stafford above Hurts this week?
Yeah, I mean, I would still go Hurts just because, like I said,
The
I
rushing
think
upside.
the rushing upside.
I would go.
But I would
mean,
probably
I could see
put
it.
Hurts third.
I could see it. But given that Kyron Williams is going to probably take some touchdowns,
And that's the other thing that scares me. I could see Williams going for 102.
you know,
That's
and
yes.
then Hurts getting a couple touch push.
That's why
He'll
I'd
get-
probably go.
He'll get
Hurts.
3 touch pushes.
But
in
I
the
like
playoffs.
for DFS purposes, I like Jordan Love. I think more. But
More than Hurts or Stafford?
yeah, probably more than both.
Both of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. there.
Price included more than Hurts. Fantasy playoff game, not more than Hurts. I just think for the price, he has some upside because of the rushing too. He's not he is Hurts upside, but he's also not going to cost $8,000.
The final team that we'll discuss. Your boy Baker, who in DFS is probably really juicy, I'll bet.
Yeah,
Like,
because that's
DFS
He's
secondary.
probably the cheapest.
He's
choice.
not.
Not only that. Well, no, he probably not the cheapest.
One of the cheapest.
He's been pretty
Mason
good this
Rudolph
year.
is the cheapest.
Yes, by far.
Fair.
Mayfield's been pretty good
Cheapest
this week.
playable.
And
Yo,
Phillies and
Rudolph Pickens.
the money's based off of matchup, and they get the Eagles secondary. The Eagles have given up the most points to opposing quarterbacks.
Yeah,
this
Baker's
season.
going to have a nice price
like it's
tag.
a good matchup.
Baker
Yeah.
Evans stack.
Baker
yeah.
Evans, which is awesome, right? And then you bring it back with
Eagles secondary is
DeAndre Swift, I
awful.
suppose. So Baker is a DFS option, but he's not going to be the
The play.
Buccaneer that you play.
No,
The Tampa Bay Buccaneer that you play will either be
Evans or White.
Evans or White. Exactly correct. Chris Godwin deserves mention in a DFS.
or in a bigger lineup pool.
It's got to be a really big pool because
Yeah,
he
was-
fuck that guy.
he really hasn't. He
Last
had
couple weeks he's been all right though.
No,
he had
targets,
one or two
targets.
games. One or two
Targets.
games.
He's like, if you go throughout the year, he's had a decent amount of targets.
Yeah, not
Fuck
catch.
that guy.
Yeah, he really has
Literally
been
scored all of the points his team scored against me in playoffs. So
Pretty much.
whatever.
That dude,
pretty much.
his best.
That was his best game of the year.
by far.
Like in my mind, James Cook had 150 yards and 2 touchdowns every single game. this
Right, and
No.
the same thing with Godwin.
Because he had it in the only game that mattered.
Godwin, that game, he doubled his second.
Right, his
best
whole-
game.
Right.
None of the other games mattered to me.
No.
That's
And
the
so-
game that sticks in my head.
So Godwin's out, but except for DFS, if you're, if you want to be frisky and fun.
You're feeling it in your
Like
jellies.
yeah,
Yeah.
best running back.
So
Sanders, James Cook.
we're talking Mike Evans. We're talking Mike Evans and we're talking Rashad White
Or a playoff.
That's the list.
for a playoff.
Yeah. That's it.
Now, John, if you can only play one of those two guys in a lineup, who are you playing?
White.
Interesting. Danny?
It would depend on who else I have left to play and how many of each I'm playing.
It's this week.
It's this close.
This week, and you have to play a guy who's playing this week.
Probably Evans because of the matchup. But it's tough because White's they throw to him a lot and matchups are going to be playing for mine. The thing is, if Evans gets if they have a second throw and they throw downfield, none of those guys are covering Mike Evans. James Bradbury's going to just jump up in the air and cover. It's just going to run right past him, even at 100 years old.
Anthony?
That's a tough one too.
100 years old. Who? Mike Evans?
Oh, 30, whatever.
Excuse yourself. He's 29,
That's like 100
And-
for a wide receiver.
and he's a Hall of Famer,
He's
Oh,
29.
100%.
and he deserves your respect.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
he's 30.
I
thought-
literally
I thought
said
he-
he's going to burn the secondary, even at
I'm-
100
He's not 100. Be nice.
in wide receiver.
in this podcast. Mike Evans is my guy. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he is your guy.
He's my guy, but I'm
Yeah.
the respect.
And he is a Hall of Famer.
He is a Hall of Famer.
This
For
is
sure.
super tough because like White's been, what did he finish as RB4?
Something like that. Yeah, way up
He's
there.
been super productive, super used. But like you said,
That's the one thing they don't do.
Your mom's been
too.
super used.
Oh.
in this matchup, like, yeah, I think Mike Evans is going to eat this week. It's just if that D line can get to Baker, that might be the issue. But I think I'll lean White. I think there'll be a lot of dumping off.
Interesting.
I think a lot of dump off.
I have to go Evans. You know, that's
That's your guy.
I can't not go Evans, but White is a very good play.
No, they're both good plays.
They're great plays.
It's just they give up so many points
yeah,
to receivers and quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And look at how they fared against legit number ones this year. They've been
terrible.
terrorized by it.
Yeah.
And twice. Anytime they've had like a certifiable one, St. Brown, they've absolutely abused him.
Unless let's say for
Wan'Dale Robinson.
if the Buccaneers the game plan is bad, then Mike Evans will have a bad day. If their game plan is good, he will have a good day.
Yeah.
I think you're looking at the day of in this game, Evans and White both having good days.
I agree.
Well, yeah,
in
that's
DFS,
how the offense
in
runs.
DFS, I love playing
DFS,
both.
I
DFS
love
is both. To me, it's what you said for the playoff game. You're telling me to choose a person right now. Okay, rest of season, bang. I guess I would
Rest of
the for the playoff game.
Uh-huh.
And it's like neck and neck. You can choose either guy.
Yeah.
But like I think it's going to come down to like when you're sitting there and you're making your decision and what position do I need to fill more? And like if I have these two running backs that I'm like, yo, these are my guys, and like wide receivers are still a little open, then I might choose Evans. You know what I mean?
DFS.
Well, we have Kyron Williams locked and loaded as the number one running back on this slate.
Yeah, but then
Okay.
don't you think
Who's on this slate?
right? Okay.
Who's your number two running back on this slate? Is it Rashad White? Is it Jahmyr Gibbs? Or is it somebody else?
It might be somebody else for me.
Pacheco,
Yeah, it's
Cook,
Pacheco
in the cold.
because of the cold.
Cook.
And the running, and I think it's going to be a lot of running that game.
What about you, Danny?
I
Where are
don't
you?
know. I might still go White.
White or
Because
Gibbs?
even if they're down, what does he get? 7 receptions for 50 yards?
So he's your number two RB on the
He
slate.
might be. Yeah.
John?
I agree with Danny.
White is your number two RB on the slate?
That's my number two. I honestly do think that
I don't think
White
nearly
is-
as strong as you putting Williams one.
I don't love doing this, but my number one and number two running back might be in the same game. It might be Gibbs for me at number two.
And Gibbs is
And then White at 3. And then maybe even Montgomery at 4. You know what I mean? Or
For
maybe
this
you're talking
slate?
Swift in this
I'd
conversation.
probably put Cook for. But yeah,
Cook.
he's up there.
Swift isn't. So that's when Swift. But I think it's Kyron, White, and Gibbs, whatever order you want to put them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then everybody
yeah.
else. I think those are your
Yeah.
guys. So in that scenario, do you go Gibbs and Evans, or do you go White and somebody else? Oh, how about this? Do you like Gibbs and Evans or White and Amon-Ra better? Which combo do you like better, Anthony?
Gibbs and Evans or White and Amon-Ra?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That is a great
That's
question.
a good one.
And the Lions play who? I'm sorry again.
Rams.
Amon-Ra and White.
John?
Same.
Same.
Amon-Ra only is going to get the lion's share of targets, and I think it's going to be a lot of dump offs. I mean, look, I was totally wrong again on Rashad White this season, so I'm kind of shutting up, and I'm a believer in him.
The same.
Those two sides, yeah, I would lean that.
Right
side.
on. Yeah, the Amon-Ra is what sways it for you as well. Yeah.
I
hear you.
like Evans with the sheer amount of work, and there's no Godwin on the tie, and no Laporta, and no,
in a vacuum, I have to choose that as well. You know what I mean? Just because of the
and Evans a Hall of Famer, but right now,
what Amon-Ra is to that offense is greater than
yes,
Evans to that offense.
he's not just a deep red zone.
He's the engine.
Right.
He's the engine of the offense.
Line up anywhere, everything.
So that's it. So that's the slate. We got 6 games. We talked about all of our players. Hopefully, all of us can. We lost John again. Hopefully, all of us can use this information to kind of process a little bit over the next day or two, and then put together some winning lineups. You know what I mean? Win some money in the postseason. You're in that game. Hey, John, you're in our game that we're going to be playing. Now, there's another contest that's actually happening. It's, what is it, $100 to enter, that we're all in because it's a guy that we play games with every year. We do like the Survivor and all that stuff in his games. You want me to send you a link so that you could get in it as well? This is the one where we've been talking about all night, where you can play a guy twice. I will send it to you when I get home. I'll send you a link to it so you can join.
In Dave's game, you choose one lineup for the entire duration of the playoffs postseason. So this game is you choose a different lineup each week.
Yeah, you set your lineup each week, and you can use a guy as many as 2 times. So it's a slightly different format. It's pretty fun. And then hopefully you can stay in touch with this dude. And like on this website, he runs the Survivor pool if you're interested in joining that, and he runs like this other fantasy one and done thing that Danny and I
didn't know what that was.
Okay, so I'll send you that link as well.
I probably got it, but
this guy runs some pretty cool games, so it's pretty good. Yeah, we were I think like 5th or 6th place or something like that. It was not bad, not good. We were close, but it was all right. Next year, I mean, it was like 36 or something entries this year in that game, so hopefully next year there's
What is
more.
This game?
It's one and done. So you set a lineup every week. It's quarterback, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, tight end, defense, 2 flexes, and one of your flexes can be a quarterback. It doesn't have to be, but it can be a quarterback.
Oh, super flex.
Flex and super
flex and a super flex. And you can only start a guy one time all season. So each week you set a new lineup, and you can only start a guy once.
Once he's played, he's burned.
You play him once and that's it. So you have to try and like pick the right week to play the right guys.
Wow.
For the beginning of the season, we hit a couple of really good ones, and we were like way up top. So we were like 3rd, 4th, like most of the season, and then we kind of fell off a little bit, and we ran into steam and some of our
probably had a
plays.
solid last week though, right?
Yeah, I think we were okay.
Taylor, Slayton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we started Tyrod Taylor and Darius Slayton in the final week. We started fucking Mason Rudolph and George Pickens, and they completely egged us. That was bad. But yeah, they're fun games to play. It was the first season you did it.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah. So it was only 36 entries this year, but next year
the more entries will be better because you get more payouts at least. So
yeah.
But was it 100 Mannings?
I don't remember. I think so. Maybe it was 50.
It's 50 or 100.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
It might have been 100, but you guys split it.
You know what? I think it was 100. I think it was 100.
It's hard to remember.
Yeah.
A lot of the things he does pretty much.
It's 100, and isn't the knockout 100, or is that 50?
No,
it's 100.
That's 100. Yeah.
So that's the week. Next mentioned, we will be all live in studio next Thursday. Very excited about it. John, make sure you travel. Make sure you travel safely. We'll see you when you get here to New Jersey. Get in touch with us as soon as you're in town, and we will see you where it's always Sunday.
I got fucking cupped today.